good morning, good afternoon, good night for Kevin. Welcome to the first meeting of the Face Innovation International Inc. LLC. Bob Yurio is not there?
Yes, I'm here.
Oh,
Hello, everyone.
yeah.
Hello.
Hello, Bob.
Make sure that I'm indicating the identity legally correctly. Face Innovation International Inc. LLC.
Aaron Joyner.
No LLC. Everything else is correct.
Okay, to stop at the Inc. Wow, that's misleading. Not a real corporation. Okay, we are 98. Aaron,
Yes, Aaron Joyner.
you are killing my,
Hello, Aaron.
my opening. Hey,
I'm sorry.
no. Don't be so.
I was having difficulty logging on, so I used my phone instead.
Why don't you complain to Kevin later on? Anyway, there is 98 of us in the roster that we got, and I cannot tell you how pity for the one that didn't join us, but the one that did. My partners, obviously Boris and Anna, that without them nothing would have happened, and all the rest of you, Gary Farina, Kevin, Elena that cannot be on, and Ben, without you, obviously, nothing would have happened. So what happened to our partner from Canada, from Quebec? Is he on?
No, it doesn't look like it.
Well, he got drunk last night. Why don't you send him an email? You're supposed to be there. He's the only one we get in Canada right now. Anyway, I really want to welcome you all. I'm very excited about Face Innovation as a sister company to IDS, take the IPS to the masses. And all of you that have been good to us for all those years, most of you, I don't know why Ran Forbyte is not there, and he promised to be here, etc.
Yes.
He is.
Ran is on?
I am here. Can you hear me?
Yeah, my God, I can recognize you. What you became? You became white.
That's called getting old.
Anyway, so it's wonderful to be among friends and people that like the trees and like ideation. And now Kevin is going to announce the name, and you're going to introduce yourself and say a couple words about your association with ideation, with Face Innovation, and what can you help us to do by going.
All right.
Gary,
So,
why don't you start first, Gary? I think that Gary, Bob Yurio, and Kevin should say the first word because they're the management and they're the one that's helping me to take this whole thing forward.
Okay.
You start, Gary.
Yeah. Good day, everyone. I'm Gary Farina. I am the COO of Face Innovation International. I'm located in Howell, Michigan, which is about 45 miles northwest of Detroit. And my association with Zion and TRIZ has been about 10 years, primarily in the education market at the high school level. It started with Zion and we did several pilot projects at the high school level. And a lot of what focused that initiative I've been looking at is continuing that development of the materials and instructional design for the high school level. The pilots that we did were very successful, but demonstrated a need to have integratable materials and exercises specific to meet the requirements in the K-12 market, mostly aligned to standards. Worked on several grants to secure funding to move development forward. Also recently submitted a funding proposal to develop the problem formulator into a augmented reality, a 3D environment that had some gamified types of applications, along with the ability to do training and collaboration development between professionals.
okay, so I guess that's me next.
Go ahead.
Good morning, Kevin Dutcher. I guess 58 this year. Spent Someone's getting some feedback between their speaker and microphone. Thank you. Spent
It's my doctor that came on board. That is an emergency call for me.
spent 25 years in the defense industry, 10 years in automotive, currently working for Chrysler. We ended up buying a couple of the Innovation Workbench licenses through Larry Smith. I did some additional training with Ala at the end of last year. It's the first time I had met Boris, Ala, and Zion, and Zion kind of dragged me into this face innovation thing. So I've been doing a lot of the LinkedIn stuff for him and kind of doing it as a side job while I work my day job at Chrysler. So Ben?
Yep, this is Ben here. Hi, this is Ben. I mean, really Sadek Babai. I'm calling from Dubai. I've been with Zion from day one. You know, we were basically the first people who started the face innovation and the ideas together with the other co-founders. I've been mainly trying to adapt the 8th lesson and then the study plan and try to teach it over the distant learning, and I've been successful, you know, delivering it, I mean, to about some 14, 15 students and professionals, from high school students all the way to the our PhD colleagues and friends and members there in face innovation. I'm looking forward to having a wonderful year in 2019 and then even better in 2020. Let's work hard for it. This is from Ben.
Thank you, Ben. So this is really my first time doing a big conference on Zoom. Those people that are not speaking, if you go to the lower left-hand corner, you can hit that mute button. So try to keep the background noise, and then when you talk, if you unmute it, that would be great. Next, if we can have Boris and Ala say a few words, that would be great.
Well,
Okay,
I want Boris to say in the end what is the future of the IPS in his point.
Boris, come on. Okay, I am muted myself. Now I put myself on the screen. So Zion, just say who you are and what you think about IPS future.
IPS?
What is the directed evolution of the IPS?
Okay. I'm Boris Lotin. I'm 72. I'm engineer in education, and I'm 45, 46 now year in TRIZ, starting in 1974. Future of IPS.
To
Not
the
very
message.
good future. As usual, people prefer to solve problem by themselves. It's pretty intimate process of creative work. And the best future is to teach the first children, each children. But second, select people who have their own will, their own desire, talent to this, and to make from this people professional who can solve any of possible problem. One of the most important part about problem solving is follow. Today, after 45-year work in the TRIZ, I almost not use TRIZ for solve problem. Why? Because after 3, 4, 5 years, TRIZ methods became part of my mentality. It's became part of my personal psychology. It go to subconscious. I'm not formulate contradiction by some rule. I just immediately, when I see problem, I see contradiction. I am not using listing of resources to see resource, but I immediately see on the system and I see what the resources the system has. It is the best problem solver when all solving became automatically. I can give you very simple analogy. when you in young years the first drive car, you just was thinking how to make each left turn, how to go on freeway, how to go through bump. But after many years of driving, you make all of this automatically. And me, Alla, maybe some dozen of people in the world who became real professional. On base of the TRIZ, we create our TRIZ subconscious. And it's very good to have the subconscious, and I recommend you to do this with yourself.
Okay, now because Boris' birthday is in 2 days, everybody join me. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Boris. Happy birthday to you.
Thanks for everybody. Thank you.
Okay, next one.
Я не нужен?
Yeah, you can move a little bit.
Huh?
Okay, now I will say,
I want to hear, Alla, you have a couple words to say?
yeah, I can say a couple words.
Go ahead.
Because, yeah, Alla Zusman, I'm in TRIZ since 1981. I got my education from Arthur and Boris, and I'm one of the founder of Ideation. Probably you all know that. And if you have any specific question for me, I can answer.
No question, no time for question. Okay, I'd like to first of all introduce the distinguished people among us. So, Bob Lieberman, please introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Bob. I got my PhD not too far from where a lot of you are sitting in Ann Arbor, which happens to be my hometown. I grew up there. It was a degree in, I don't know what you call it, physics, chemical physics, biophysics. I had the head of the physics department, a biochemist, a physical chemist, and a couple of hardcore solid state guys on my committee. Went to Bell Labs for 10 years and came out to California on a 1-year leave of absence, and that was 27 years ago. So you can say 27 years ago I got smart. But after working for about 7 years in a little company out here, I founded my own company by taking my division out of that company. The company's called Intelligent Optical Systems. It's had several spin-offs. The business model is to use government money to create technology and then get things out of the door of a company that was 1/3 PhDs and into the hands of people who really wanted and knew how to make money. And I retired from that place about 4 or 5 years ago to get married and to become president of SPIE, which is the biggest optical and photonic professional society. And, you know, since then I've been having fun, swimming, consulting, you know, sitting on various boards of various little entities. And as Zion said, got inducted into the National Academy of Engineering at the beginning of this year. Had a really good time. Got to schmooze with a fair number of people. In my class at the NIE this year was Jeff Bezos, but he didn't show up for the induction ceremony. I was hoping I'd get like
You got too much money, you got too much money.
But didn't happen. But so anyway, you know, I've been involved in everything from, you know, national science policy to, you know, fiber optic and optical sensors for medical defense, you name it, all kinds of applications. But that's my background. Pretty interdisciplinary right from the get-go of my education. Oh yeah, I got 45 patents.
Yeah, thank you, Bob. Is Dr. Jim Harrington in? If he is not, then I like Matei to introduce himself as a I3 specialist.
Hello to everyone. I'm Matej from Slovenia. This is a small country in Europe, and I came in touch with TRIZ before 7 years. I first finished level 3 from TRIZ, and after that I visited also Zion, Alla, and Boris I spent 2 weeks there, and I learned a lot about TRIZ. And now I'm working also like a master black belt for Six Sigma, like trainer and consultant. And I try to give this information to my European colleagues. And I also established the web page for Face Innovation of Europe. So this is short about me.
Thank you, thank you. Ran Forbright, Dr. Ran Forbright has been teaching it for what, 100 years already? Would you please introduce yourself?
I'm Ron Fulbright. I am a PhD from the University of South Carolina. And before that, my bachelor's degree came from Clemson University, who are playing a very important football game tonight. That's what I will be doing. I first became aware of TRIZ about 25 years ago as I was searching for a dissertation topic when I was in graduate school. I did not learn about iTRIZ and ideation and Boris and Alla until some 10 or 11 years later, early 2000s, when I began my current position at the University of South Carolina Upstate, where I am a professor in the Informatics and Engineering Systems Department. And I was trained in Detroit by Boris and Alla. And then I immediately saw the need for a higher education treatment of the material, something that could be taught in a semester, a normal college semester. So I spent the next 2 or 3 years experimenting with some course materials. And finally, around 2007, we created the course that I teach now. I've been teaching it for 12 years almost. And it basically teaches IPS. And we do that in a semester-long, 15-week semester, 2 class meetings per week. And I have taught around 500 students since then in the last 12 years. And I see my students are not special. They're not geniuses. They're not even engineers. But I see them go through transformations, very much like Boris talked about a few minutes ago. And that's certainly my experience as well. Learning iTRIZ and thinking about how to think about problems and solutions to those problems have changed the way that I see everything. I tell my wife, I said, I'm the most miserable person in the world now since I've become an innovator, because I can't see anything that I don't naturally automatically start thinking, well, there's a better way to do that. Well, there's a problem with that. Here's a contradiction for that. We can solve this. Why is it like that? Everything I see, I automatically start innovating about. And currently, I am committing what I'm teaching in class to a textbook, and that is approximately 50% done now, and I hope to be finishing that over the next several months. And I'll be using that in my class, and of course, making it available to everyone to use.
The only guy that can compete with you is Paul King from Vanderbilt, who for 10 years have been teaching biotech engineers the design, and including the IWB as a match to do a project that they can publish with them. Paul, please introduce yourself.
I'm Paul King. I'm from Nashville, Tennessee. Been at Vanderbilt now 53 years, 40-something of those on the faculty. Actually I started the biomed program here at Vanderbilt. I've taught design here for 20 years. Of those 20 years, about 10 of those I taught using Innovation Workbench. And I tried to evaluate it versus not using it, obviously. And I thought it was very useful in terms of helping structure the students' design experience. So my bottom line is that I felt that it helped. It's part of my textbook. I have a textbook in design that's now in the 4th edition. I continue to be involved with Zion. I continue to advise on design projects here at Vanderbilt in my retirement. That's it.
Wonderful. Yeah. Been great. Yeah, good friend of you and that. Is Jim Anataki there? Is he here?
I'm here.
Okay, it's your turn, my friend. You are
Oh, fabulous. That's always it.
the other competitor for them. Go ahead. Tell us what we did in Carnegie Mellon.
Yes, I'm delighted to be joining this esteemed group of TRIZ Kindred Fellow. I cannot hold a light to Paul King, but I began teaching design about 18 or so years ago, before I think Paul's first textbook. So at that time, I had to kind of improvise. And I don't quite remember how I came to learn of Zion. I think possibly by way of his competitor. There was another company called Invention Machine at the time that was advertising. And next thing I know, I'm in Zion's living room. Or, I'm sorry, I'm in his basement as a guest, and I'm learning TRIZ from Boris and Alla themselves, and I was mesmerized, and I've been an advocate ever since. So I've woven TRIZ into the capstone design course for many years, University of Pittsburgh, and then later at Carnegie Mellon. I'm currently at Cornell, and I'll say that the one maybe contribution that I've made, I'm going to actually try sharing my screen and to see if this works. I'll just show one quick picture. If anyone can see my screen, there should be a picture of.
I love it. I love it.
Okay. So the contribution I make is to try to gamify or to make it fun to learn TRIZ. So, for example, I'm going to stop sharing my screen now. For example, when we learn the inventive principles, I might play on the computer screen something like how it's made, like a factory in which is making popcorn or making hot dogs. And all of the students have a buzzer. And when they say an inventive principle, they have to buzz and identify the inventive principle. And I think that having that kind of fun and interaction, learning the principles and learning to be creative is what really drives it in and makes it memorable. So I've had a lot of fun with it, and it's been a pleasure knowing Zion. He's come to my class several times along with Alla. We often Skype him in when he can't make it physically, and look forward to see what becomes of Face Innovation. Thank you very much.
Hey, you're great. What about Jason Smith that replaced you? Is he on?
Oh, Jason, I don't think I see him.
Can you see him? Jason, are you there? Okay, well, if Jason is not there, then I'd like Bob Yurio to tell us why is he endorsing us. Bob, are you there? Bob Yurio is gone.
No, I just unmuted him, so.
Oh, okay.
It looks like he's on the phone.
Oh, you can see his picture.
Then how about one of the newcomers from Finland? He has a big responsibility as face innovation of the Scandinavian country. Why don't we let him introduce himself? Hello.
Now I'm on mute. Hi, I'm Juhani Pakkonen from Helsinki, Finland. And I'm very new in this game. I was introduced to iTRIZ and TRIZ in general this summer. I'm one of those distant learning students of Ben, what he told he has been teaching these 8-hour lessons. So I'm still in the learning process. But I want to, because I like systematic approach, iTRIZ has to problem solving and innovation. So I want to learn it and to be able to support my colleagues in Scandinavia and get them joining Face Innovation. I have an engineering background, but I have been working 30 years in running businesses or being a business consultant. So I have sort of drifted away from the engineering.
He was introduced to us by a terrific guy by the name of Moti. Moti, are you there? Moti from Israel, are you there? Too bad. He said that he'll introduce you. Well, if Moti is not there, then Avi Sheyman is my other partner who introduced me to Moti. Avi, can you introduce yourself, please?
Yes, thank you, Zion, and good morning to everybody. My name is Avi Sheinman. I am from beautiful Israel. I am a mechanical engineer and intellectual property attorney. For the last 30 years, I am involved in innovation, all kind of various. Started with 10 years of my life in the Israeli Defense Forces as the head of operational requirements and combat development. And 15 years ago, I was introduced to the little sister of ideation TRIZ called SIT, the Systematic Inventive Thinking, just 6 innovation tools or inventive tools. And I was participating for almost 6 months in order to become a leader of seminars of SAT in Israel, most successful part as small it is. And I led over 500 seminars with the SAT, 6 tools, the little sister of ideation TRIZ. And in both ways, one, the new development products, and the other one is the IPS. But I'm associated with ideation. I was introduced about 6 or 7 years ago. I was introduced to Zion and Ala and Boris and the other party 7 years ago on 2012, I think. And then I became an ideation TRIZ practitioner. And I was practicing this with the SAT alongside with something else that I found out from my experience with innovation mentoring, because just learning the tools, it came out that our brain is not equipped to remember all the tools, and even though we have some software and maybe some practicing, we need some mentoring and some coaching. So I came aboard with Ideation TRIZ and assisting in international marketing and business development. Still, I don't have the breakthroughs that I'm wishing to ideation and its members, but I'm persisting. My commitment is to have the world use inventive and innovation tools as the Ideation TRIZ and the little sister, the SAT, and of course, as innovation mentor, and use it simply and effectively. I think that nothing can stop this wave. It's all in our hands. Even the face of innovation, this one branch of the whole, way that we are paving, but we need a strong belief, a strong commitment, and create a structure that will make more and more opportunities to all kinds of people, as you, as me, to join, share, and use the great inventive and innovation tools and transform the world. I would like to conclude, our brain is working with patterns since we are born. Everything we are acquiring in patterns. And Ideation TRIZ created so many patterns of inventive thinking that create results without any efforts. It's very simple. But the world, still is not revealed to this thing, and we are the pioneers. So I would like very much to see all of us pursuing and paving the way. Thank you.
Thank you to you too. You've been like a brother to me. Anyway, Avi and Paul Sagan are the only advisors I have for strategy. Without strategy, we got nothing. So I really like to move along and have all the other people that did not get a chance. Bob Yo-Yo is still back?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yeah, Bob. I cannot hear Bob Yo-Yo because I like him to say something about the IP services and what we want to do with patent attorneys and litigators. Can you please talk?
Can you folks hear me?
Yes, we can.
Oh, I'm Bob Yorio. Nice to talk to all of you this morning. I've known ideation and Brian for 8 years. What we've done prior to Face Innovation, worked on projects from time to time.
Hey, Bob, I think we lost you. I think your computer microphone we were picking up. It sounds like you're talking on the phone.
Let me restart that. Hold on a second.
Yeah, right there. That's perfect.
Is that okay?
Yes.
Much better.
Okay. We've worked on projects involving patent protection, patentable ideas, and agreements about joint ventures, research projects, and the like. We'll continue to do that for Face Innovation as matters come. And so if anyone has a project or an invention or something they want to run by us as to its patentability, value, that's a service that we will provide. In addition to that, we handle the main corporate work for the company, the annual filings. As you all know, Face Innovation was originally an LLC, and we handled the conversion to its corporate form. And it's good to hear from all of you today, and interested in working with you in the future.
Okay, thanks, Bob. I think we were picking you up through your computer microphone as opposed to the phone, so or it might be doing both.
How about Larry Smith? I want him to add the fire to the trees. Larry. Oh, Terry Kimura is here from Japan. My goodness.
Sorry, BRH. I thought it was the meeting will be tomorrow, but I opened my email. Kevin called me. I received an email from Kevin, and I log in now. Sorry.
Anyway, no, that's okay, Terry. For you, it's midnight right now. So Terry is my brother from Japan. Terry, introduce yourself.
Oh, this is Teruyuki Kamimura.
Oh my God.
From 29, I started Ideation Japan company and the business using TRIZ and work with Zion. And however, we have lots of difficulty to make TRIZ and the TRIZ methodology be popular in Japan. However, these days, Japanese companies changed their situation, and they conventionally they did not understand and they did not really have needs for innovation. But these days, Japanese companies very tough situation in competing with foreign companies, and they realize the innovation is very important for them, and their business will be getting better and better, I think. And as for face innovation, I want to Japanese version of face innovation. However, translating cost is very expensive for us, and therefore we try to make Japanese original website for Japan using. In that website, we will use our original material for education and training and so on. Those are in Japanese we made originally. That's it.
Thank you, Terry. Larry Smith, can you
Hey.
share some of your experience with the fire of trees?
Hey, Zion, I got a message from Bo that he'd like to go next because he has to leave.
Yeah, sure, of course. Let him do it.
Hi, good morning, everybody. This is Boudewijn Birch from Brooklyn, New York. I'm better known as Bao. Even my wife calls me that way. I'm Dutch, born and raised in the Netherlands, but I now live in Brooklyn, New York since the end of 1999. I discovered TRIZ when I was an assistant professor at Erasmus University in Rotterdam. And a lot of the companies I was researching at the time, Motorola, 3M, Hewlett-Packard, were all of a sudden talking to me about TRIZ. And that's how I discovered Ideation International. And I contacted Zion, and then he said, well, we are doing a course in the Netherlands, and you're in luck. It's happening right in the Netherlands, and Hein Vastenau, who's also on the call here, is coordinating that. I'll arrange that you can join, and you pay him a fee. And so that was my first introduction to ideation. I was just absolutely mesmerized and fascinated, and subsequently visited Zion and Alla and Boris and their colleagues, and I spent an exhilarating week with them. So since that time, TRIZ has always been with me. Whenever I can, I introduce it to my clients. In the work that I do, occasionally I give executive briefings, and then whenever I can, I directly refer the clients directly to Zion. And so I'm committed to, whenever I can, to promote TRIZ and also help Face Innovation become successful. And it's fantastic to see so many people on this call. And whatever I can do, I will do my very best to promote TRIZ, because I think this has enormous potential for problem solving in all arenas in the world. And I apologize, I have to go to the next meeting, but I'm very excited to be part of this group. Thank you.
Thank you for you. We'll talk to you later. Larry Smith, can you say a couple words? Where is Larry?
You might be muted, Larry. Let me.
I saw the face of Paul Sagan every time you move on, so let Paul say something.
Okay.
Hello.
Oh, here's Larry.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. Yeah, this is Larry Smith. I'm from Dearborn, Michigan. I spent most of my life in Dearborn, Michigan, working for Ford Motor Company as a quality and reliability manager. Started with Ford as an engineer, and then became very interested in quality by working with Japanese companies, especially after Dr. W. Edwards Deming came to Ford Motor Company. Ford groomed me as an expert in doing engineering right the first time, using quality and reliability methods, and I was trained with some of the best experts in that arena in the world. Spent most of my life as managing quality and reliability departments, primarily in casting operations, and then in powertrain operations, then truck operations, and then vehicle operations. Became interested in TRIZ. I used to teach at Wayne State University in Detroit, teaching quality courses and statistical classes in the evening. Became interested in TRIZ back in 1992. I thought that innovation would be a perfect marriage with quality tools and methods to make both of them better. And found out there was a course being taught on campus on TRIZ by Victor Fay and Eugene Riven in the mechanical engineering department. So I sat in on that course, became interested in TRIZ, invited them to come to Ford and teach the class. We had several very successful projects as a result of that. Became interested in working with TRIZ providers that existed in the United States and doing projects with them. I think became familiar with Boris and Alla and Zion back in 1993. Fell in love with the iTRIZ methodology. And as opportunity presented itself, we did a number of projects at Ford, both in technical and non-technical systems over the years. Retired from Ford in 2004, and then I've been doing some consulting and quality methods, primarily introducing people to TRIZ when I get the opportunity to do so. Was very involved in the formation of the Altshuler Institute for TRIZ Studies here in the US and was president of that organization for 9 years. Have also been on the board of directors of the American Society for Quality. I enjoy teaching TRIZ and I enjoy doing project work when the opportunity permits.
Wonderful. Especially on the tennis court. That's when you shine.
Zion and I love to hit tennis balls together.
Right. Anyway, so what about Finland? And your plan for the future to make us big boys? Is he there?
Yes, I needed to unmute. Yes, well, the thing is that I've been discussing with Zion about I have a group of colleagues in Scandinavian countries, and those are my immediate target to convince them to join the movement. And also there's some other countries in the neighborhood, in Baltic countries, where I'm looking for contacts and cultivating them.
Your dog doesn't like us.
No, that's why I was muted, because there was another dog barking somewhere. You guys, some of you didn't have the mute on, and that dog barking made my dogs to bark. I'm gonna unmute now.
Anyway, is Amos Redlich from Israel? Is he there? Amos Israel. No.
I have not seen him. Why don't we let Paul go next, Zion?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, can you hear me, folks?
Yeah. Hi, Paul.
Hi. I was fortunate enough about 15 years ago to be trained with iTRIZ, working under Boris and Alla. Became an iTRIZ specialist in all of the various manifestations of iTRIZ. I worked for many years as a strategist and engineer for the Army Corps of Engineers, finishing my career at the headquarters level for about 20 years there. And part of what I did, because we were a technical engineering firm, but also a government agency, I worked in both applying TRIZ to technical issues and worked with some of our other engineers, and also with managerial and administrative issues, and found it to be very useful in both venues. And depending on the venue and the personnel, I might use either of the tools there, as well as some of the other things like directed evolution, because again, if you're working at the government agency, you should be looking long term. It doesn't always happen, but you should be looking long term and how the world will change. So I've always enjoyed working with TRIZ and with certainly with Boris and Alla to the extent that their time permits. And I've done a little teaching. I've assisted Tomasz Farczewski, who's also on this call, with his inventive engineering course at George Mason University near Washington. And overall, now I mainly kind of advise Zion on a bit of strategic affairs and so on, some international perspective, because I used to be a professor of history as well as being an engineer. So that's me, and I'll let this move on to the next party.
One thing about Paul, since he has a PhD in history, that he knows about everything from everything. I mean, he is clearly between him and Boris. I don't need anybody else. I don't need to read newspaper. I know what's going on. So he's been really my advisor personally and a very close friend, and I admire him. I like Dr. Paz and his son, Omri, to come on and talk about not how my health is, but how they like face innovation. They got trained by Ben.
Hi, this is Paz Ayla. Can you hear me?
I cannot see you.
Yeah. Well, give us a second.
Is anybody can see him?
Yeah.
Oh, here you are.
Okay. Hi. Hi. So my name is Paz Ayla. I'm a close friend of Zion for many years, but also in trust of trying to keep him alive, which is the most difficult task in the world. But I've been introduced, obviously, to iTriz by Zion, and I've taken a course with Ben, and I want to thank him again for the wonderful job, along with my son. And we are trying, Zion and myself, to get physicians involved and involved in developing medical devices and other invention in the field of medicine. That's about it. I pass it to my son.
Hi, my name is Omri, and I'm second year in RPI, which is in upstate New York. And I want to thank Ben because he was the one who taught me in the course during my senior year of high school. And that's pretty much it. But my final project, my final assignment for the class was just quickly looking at different ways batteries could probably be better and last longer. And that hasn't really gone anywhere, but that's the last thing, big thing I think I did with TRIZ. And I want to thank Ben and I want to thank Zion for showing this. And my job is, I think, is pretty much to try to involve students in the university level.
I adopted Omri, and I'm training him to become a salesman because he's too shy, and so he can recruit all his student mates from the third year. He got 2 more years to graduate. He's graduating in May of 2021 as a mechanical engineer, and he's going to come and live with us in Detroit while he's working for 6 months for Ford, working on a couple of projects that I'm working for him for. So with that, I like another guy that worked for Ford from Detroit. Jim, are you still there? Jim Van Yerden. What's his last name? Kevin, help me.
Van Gilder.
Right. Is he there?
Yes, sir. How you doing, everyone? Yeah, my name is Jim Van Gilder, and I did, as Zion said, worked for Ford Motor Company for over 20 years. I was lucky enough to run into people doing early structured inventive thinking, where we came up with some patents in the early 90s for cyclonic separators. Unfortunately, Ford chose not to patent it, to their loss. Then I was lucky enough again to run into Larry Smith, you heard from earlier, and be able to work with him during his last 4 years at Ford, which was really an education, and that's where I really got the downtown conferences. I worked some of them with when Larry was the Altshuler president, and we ran a project in 2006 with Ford, the vice president of global technologies, where we came up with passively automatically opening car door designs, or smart doors. As part of that spinoff, we came out with a patent for the lane maintenance. At that time, there were like 42,000 deaths a year, and 40% of accidents at that time were caused by lane drift. Just as a simple part of the patent for the door, where we were trying to prevent it from hitting other things, and we realized, this is going to be a major thing for smart driving cars, which now I think some of the deaths in the U.S. are down to less than 38,000 or 35. I heard 2 different numbers over the last years. But again, I was lucky enough to get the training right from Boris Alla. I think Boris is one of the few non-Ford people on a Ford patent because of his efforts with us. And I was just really lucky to, I live not far from him, but unfortunately, like a lot of you, I get to only see him probably only once a year or two. That's my fault, though. I should be up there every 2 months probably, and just sitting and learning from him. But so we came up with some pretty good patents with a vice president of global technologies, and we're trying to. One of our team members is still there, and he actually helped introduce some of the AI and into Ford, and now they have an entire AI department. So that's it. Thank you.
Thank you, thank you. Is Dr. K there, or he was on his way to Malaysia or something for vacation? I don't think he's there.
No, I have not seen him.
How about Tom Keresh, my dentist? I want him to introduce himself for the implant of the future, to share some ideas that we have to eliminate teeth completely. Is he there?
I have not seen his name. There's a couple of people just logged in.
No, he came. Tom Keresh appeared because I saw his pictures. I said, I'm glad that he's on. Is he still on? So who did we miss now?
So let me go down the list. So Aaron?
Oh, Aaron, yes. Oh my God, how can I miss him, for Christ's sake? Now, Aaron is really something else. He's my hero. He's blind. He's legally blind, and he got taught by Ben everything. He passed the test. He got certified, and he and I are in contact with Ruth, who is in charge of the 3 million or some of the 3 million in her area of the blind, to find all the blind engineers and the blind professionals that like to join Face Innovation. It's a very, very special project for me in particular, because my youngest, who is 29, is also legally blind. So, Aaron, please introduce yourself.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, good. Okay. My name is Aaron Joyner, and yes, I am legally blind, with about probably 10% eyesight. I've been born that way, so it's really not a problem for me. You know, you just I suppose I was an innovator from birth. You know, to try to do things maybe probably differently, but still get the job done. But basically, what Face Innovation has done for me, I think, is it has opened me up to thinking different ways of thinking outside of the box, so to speak. And you know, just to be able to have the mindset of problem solving rather than looking at failures. We must have a certain amount of failures in order to get to where we're trying to go to. But basically, I have founded a company called Wisdomware, which specifically worked with technology for the disabled. So the route that we are trying to go to is teaching blind people, not just the blind, but various types of people that have different types of disabilities, and go from there.
If Bob Lieberman is still there, this is a project for us, my friend. You're the expert with the eye of the future.
Okay.
Anyway, there is several other people that I don't know if they are there or not. Did Dr. Coleman from Israel there? Yes, no, maybe. Who is there that did not speak? Speak up.
Fine, Vadim is here.
Oh, yeah, Vladimir there, and also Thomas from Poland. Yeah, both of you. Go ahead, Vladimir, introduce yourself. You are in Italian. And no,
Yes.
You're not Italian. You are Russian that study in Germany, that work for ABB in Italy. So please.
Exactly. My name is Vadim Diminenko. I was born in former Soviet Union, and when I was 18, we moved to Germany, and at the moment I'm working in Italy at ABB. My first experience with TRIZ I did when I worked and lived in China. This was 2015, 2016. and since that I'm interested in trees. And 2 months ago, or maybe 3 months ago, one colleague of mine, he taught me about face innovation, and he recommended me to contact Zion first. Then I have got a possibility to talk to Boris Zlotin, and Boris Zlotin, I know him from books which he wrote together with Altschuler, and I was very happy to talk to him. And yeah, I would say I'm relatively new here, but I'm very interested in face innovation, ideation, and to use trees, and to be a part of face innovation.
You're great. You're gonna help us a lot. Okay, who else is there that did not speak?
Here I am, Tomasz.
Oh yeah, Thomas from Pony. Go ahead. Yeah, you spoke with me for 2 hours.
Good morning, everybody, or good evening. I don't know. I apologize for lack of video. My name is Tomasz Jeczmyk from Poland. By education, mechanical engineer. I am working as senior design engineer with 18 years. My experience is in field of sunshine blinds. I've been learning methods trees for 2 years, and I am member of Face Innovation half a year. I'm starting to use trees at work as a designer, and it is very helpful in solving technical problems. Currently, together with Jerzy Obojski, we translate the i3 software into Polish. It is very important, I think. Also, I would like to introduce TRIZ in company I work, Facro. It is also my target, I think. Yes, that's all. Thank you for hearing my words.
Can we have Cal go next, Zion?
Huh?
Can we have Cal go next? I see him.
Oh yeah. Where's Kel? My favorite guy. You kidding? I know him for 200 years. Where are you, Kel?
Hi, Zion. I'm right here, Zion.
Oh, Noel also. Noel from Mexico is there. Wonderful. So go ahead, each one of you. Come on.
Also got, don't forget Noel. He's here too.
Okay, go ahead, Cal.
Okay, I'm Cal Halliburton. I taught 8th graders for 34 years, and I was introduced to the theory of constraints in the early 90s, and then was using that with my classroom and industrial technology. I found trees through TOC, and when I went to explore it, I found ideation on the internet, and met Zion and then Boris and Alla, and received my training in trees from them, and we did a wonderful project with my students. And then I took that on. I quit teaching and took that on the road for a couple of years, and followed Ideation International for a while, and now I'm fully retired and preparing for the end-of-life experiences.
Bullshit, you're not retired. You're gonna help me for the rest of my life.
Whatever you say, Zion.
Right. How about Noel? Noel, come on. How are things in Mexico? Where's Noel?
Limited internet connection, you know?
No, here Noel, yeah.
Okay. I am in this moment in Cuba at the beach with a very limited internet connection. But
Very nice.
Nevertheless, I wanted to be present in this meeting. I know Zion since I was a child. I was very little when I met him the first time. It was 1994.
I invited Zion and Boris and Ala to come to Mexico in order to introduce I3s in Mexico. Since then, I was certified as training trainers from Ideation International. And since that, I have been introducing trees in Mexico and in several countries in Latin America. Now I am retired from Tec de Monterrey, and I am perhaps yet still giving some lectures. And I am perhaps now the way of moving to Miami. I think my wife and I will move next year to Miami, and we'll restart working on trees from there. That's we have been teaching trees in several courses at Monterrey Tech, and a lot of courses at Monterrey Tech have also adopted trees in their different fashions. And I joined Face Innovation since the beginning, and I think I had to solve a lot of problems today. I had to apply trees a lot today in order to be connected, but I solved that because Zoom forbidden in Cuba. I had to use a VPN and so on, but now yeah, I am, and I am very glad I've been meeting you. Thank you.
Okay.
Is that everybody now? Shall we go with the closing remarks? We are 7 minutes.
Nope. We got a couple left. Shireen.
Oh yeah, the guy from India.
Yep, sure. Shireen.
Right, Shireen. Yeah, go ahead, introduce yourself, please.
Hello everyone. This is Sriram from India.
Hello.
Good morning to everyone who's here. I'm just a rookie in the group. If I look at all the experience what I've been seeing, and I've been introduced to. I'm basically a mechanical engineer. I've studied in India, and I'm working as a management consultant and a design engineer for a company called Flame Tau. It has been headed by an IITian called Badri Narayan from Chennai. He's basically my boss. And he has introduced me to TRIZ for roughly about 3 years from now. And I've taken a course from Matej Okme from Slovenia, who has basically taken me through to a course where probably be submitting within 2 months. And looking forward to work with the people, and also taking forward TRIZ and making it big in the Indian market, wherein even the way we are working with many sectors, we're looking to introduce to our clients how the TRIZ works, because I have been using the ideation cards as well as to the game, wherein it helps us a lot in getting through to the solutions through the basics of engineering, where we more concentrate on the fundamentals.
Listen, why don't you call me on Skype? Not today, next week. I want to talk to you. Badri's wife died, and it's a big loss for him. So he's out of circulation, and the professor in Pune want to start Face Innovation of Pune. Where are you in India? What city are you in?
Bangalore. I would say Badri also is in Bangalore.
Okay, well, Bangalore is wonderful. That's all the manufacturing take place in Bangalore.
Yep.
Yeah. Anyway, so welcome to Face Innovation. I'd like to say a couple things for closing remarks. You know,
Zion, I think Steve Curtis. Is Steve Curtis still on?
Oh, no. Yeah, go ahead. I want you to talk, please.
I see his name on the list, but I'm not sure he's actually on the phone.
Who, Steve Curtis?
Yeah.
I thought that he joined in the beginning because I heard him.
I thought there was also Hein.
There was Hein also. Yeah, that's right.
Yep.
Hein, my favorite guy in Amsterdam. Hein, say a couple good words about all the good time we had for 50 years.
Okay. Well, my name is Hein Vastenau. I'm Dutch. I'm an executive in industrial design and engineering. I'm located in Amsterdam in the Netherlands. I first met with TRIZ in 1999 when I met with Cyan and Ala in Paris. And they introduced me to TRIZ, and I became addicted to that. So in 2005, a few years later, I decided to become a sales representative for Ideation, and I founded Ideation of the Netherlands, and it still exists. And my market was the Benelux, so Belgium, Netherlands, and Luxembourg. And I I sold a lot of consultancy projects in various fields like energy storage, power systems, pharmaceuticals, shipbuilding, agriculture, oil drilling, iron making, and many others. So it was an exciting time. At the moment I'm retired, but I'm still active in joining networks in the field of innovation. So I think Face Innovation is another interesting network to spread the good word.
How can it be bad work? Look at all of us. I mean, every one of us is smarter than the other, for Christ's sake, you know, with many years in the bank. I think the average age is about 55 to 60 or something, if I want to add them all up. But anyway, look, I'm really delighted. The Face Innovation means a lot to me because I'm the driver that came up with the idea some years ago, and it did not become a real business for me until this year when we organized the 15 founders, when we have a board of directors, when we have the identity, the legal identity. Bob Yurio is going to get us the 10 million shares, so each one of the founders, the 15, will be getting them soon. I really appreciate all the interest and your friendship and everything else. And I want Kevin and Gary to say a couple of final words. There's one thing, Bob, can you call me? If not today, next week. I want to talk to you about the litigation between Qualcomm and Apple. We want to get involved. I listened to the counselor. He's very smart. It should be you. It's only $5 billion potential reward. You know what I'm talking about, right? Bob Yurio.
Yeah, he's probably on mute.
Oh, okay, no, it's okay. He's not there? I left him 3 messages to call me about this opportunity, and he hasn't done it yet. Anyway, so that's okay. But go ahead, Kevin. You and Gary say closing remarks.
Okay, so this is kind of a side job for me as I am not yet retired. So in my spare time when I can, I'm trying to kind of set up all the necessary infrastructure. So we've got the Zoom subscription. We just started QuickBooks and Salesforce, and I'm trying to learn all those things, get them all up online. Probably end up using a tool called Drip that's kind of similar to Constant Contact to allow kind of automated emails to go out. So when somebody joins, they'll get this. They'll start a standard series of emails, and trying to figure out what the contents of all those things are. Kind of continuing education to supplement the base training that we're doing. So working hard towards getting all the stuff that has to be done before we can do kind of the more fun stuff. So that's kind of what I'm doing day to day. Gary?
Yep. Thanks, Kevin. Yeah, just to hitchhike on what Kevin said, yeah, certainly there's still some formulation going on in terms of building the operational structure of the organization. I believe the key element is really what this meeting signifies as a kickoff in terms of connecting people, because I think the greatest value in the design of Face Innovation is the creating and connecting the network of individuals. And hopefully over the next few weeks, few months, we will start being more active in that way in terms of issuing and providing challenges, looking at design initiatives, and hopefully being able to allow the members in terms of Face Innovation to connect in terms of special interests or ideas that they may have in terms of furthering those through the use of the innovation tools and resources. So I see some great growth in Face Innovation, certainly in the next 6 months. And I see the network coming together and connecting, and we'll see results and productivity out of that too. So I appreciate everyone joining in today.
And Happy New Year to everybody.
Absolutely.
Don't pay attention, it's my daughter calling me. Anyway, so I will see you all in Detroit, I guess, the beginning of January, and I look forward to working with all of you. And we have a complete, Olena, my assistant, could not unfortunately be here, but she documented all the things that we have to offer in a package, and you should all download that package. You should all have it. If you haven't gotten it by now, then go ahead and add it so you can see all the available material that we have. I also like Mate to share with Terry he created the website for Face Innovation of Europe. So, and Bob Yurio is also doing a trademark for copyright material, so the name is a big attraction now. How about, what's his name? What about Mike Winner? Is he there? I'm surprised. He told me for sure that he'll be there.
Yeah, I have not seen his name.
Jim, that's you, right?
Yeah, I just muted him.
Are we all done or what?
I think we are.
Yep.
Okay,
So
hey.
thank you, everybody.
Yeah, take
Nice
care.
to see
Bye-bye.
everyone.
Bye-bye.
Nice meeting you all. Bye-bye.
Bye.